Greetings everyone and welcome to day 462, our update coming from Pittsburgh International. I'm on the way to Boston and then Amsterdam and then on down into Africa to Tanzania. But a lot of things have happened over the last couple of days and I'm going to give you the update right now. You'll be watching this while I'm over the air somewhere between Boston and Amsterdam. But full update as of tonight. You guys know that the drones have struck in Moscow. There have also been further skirmishes across the border there on the Russian side with the freedom forces from Russia, but they're coming from the Ukrainian side. These are the things that are happening. There are major stories, but there's an entirely bigger narrative happening in the war right now, and I'm going to update you on it over the next few minutes. So thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, joining the Patreon, all of those things so that we can get the message out to you. So we're going to start tonight with Peskov, of course, the spokesman for the Kremlin there, spokesman for Vladimir Putin. He has come out and he has stated very clearly that Russia is not at war. They are continuing to conduct a special operation, but with the strikes that are happening in Russia, the strikes that are happening in Moscow, make no mistake about it, if Russia declares war on Ukraine, he goes, you have not seen anything of our fire and our fervor yet. So, you know, the second army in the world, they're nuclear, they're crazy, they're led by an evil dictator. We shall see. We shall see. I can tell you right now, major coalitions are growing more supplies. America promising more supplies coming to Ukraine, Sweden, Norway, Germany, all chipping in and saying, listen, we're sending more. And I think this is happening because the world is recognizing that we are coming on the point in this war where it's going to go one way or the other. Now, speaking of the drone attacks, here's a picture of what was flying in the air. And we've seen video, I shared this on Patreon as well, but Ukraine has not denied that the drones that struck Moscow were of Ukrainian backing. Most guys, and we've actually had some downed ones on the ground, the pictures have been sent in. You know, Ukraine is manufacturing their own drones, and folks, these drones were Ukrainian. So we shall see. Ukraine says they're going to continue, and there's no denial coming out of Kyiv. Now, a couple of other things. Zaparosia nuclear power plant continues. It is burning around the edges of Zaparosia, and the Russian forces are continuing to build and to grow there. They are creating a base. Ukraine is hearing this from Ukrainian employees who are being held hostage there to continue working there at the plant, so it will keep functioning. The power continues to be cut, and they are screaming alerts. Additionally, there is another power plant, well, not a power plant, but a chemical plant that we've got to keep our eyes on, and that's Titan Chemical Plant. This plant is actually located down in Crimea, northern Crimea, between Melitopol, coming down on that land bridge, and Russia has done the same thing here at the Titan Power Chemical Plant, where they have mined it. They have put soldiers there, they have put munitions there, they have put military supply there, and Ukraine now getting understanding of this. Listen, Russia's just wanting Ukraine to do something where they can call the false flag, where they can call the provocation, and they're going to do it to themselves. Today, some new data came out on the top 10 countries that are supplying Ukraine in this war. And as we know, the United States, by a large amount, leading the way, but we're the largest nation, so that's not to be surprising. But other nations coming in second: Great Britain, then Germany, Canada, Netherlands, Poland, France, Norway, and Sweden. And this is based on the amount of dollars itself, or euros, that have been sown into the war there in Ukraine. So big shout out for those nations. Now, I want to share with you now a video. We continue to talk about deflections and debris, and even though missiles are shot out of the air and Ukraine is firing off the Patriots and the HIMARS and all these things, if there are deflections, if things are shot out of the air, I remind you of the old song from Blood, Sweat, and Tears, what goes up must come down. Today, getting some footage. I actually got this video clip through the IDF source I have, but a Patriot missile deflected, going up to defend, somehow got off course, came down right into the traffic on Kyiv. Take a peek at this. Of course, this shows us how dangerous it is in the war zones, and at any moment, anything can happen. A couple of days ago, I was showing how the shell landed right in traffic when Russia was attacking, and now you've seen this Patriot falling. I can also tell you that Russia today blew up the Three Sisters checkpoint. This would be where Ukraine and Russia and Belarus come together there due north of Kyiv. Russia very concerned that there could be a push back, whether it's from the Freedom Forces or if Ukraine starts on offensive and comes across. We do not know what the plan is with the counteroffensive, but they're very, very concerned, very worried. So they have blown up. This is the most famous checkpoint there where these three nations come together, the Three Sisters checkpoint. A couple of other things today that we need to pay attention to. The United Arab Emirates has withdrawn from their naval treaty with which nation? The United States. You would say, okay, what does that have to do with Ukraine? Let me tell you what it has to do with Ukraine and also the Middle East. The United Arab Emirates has withdrawn from their naval treaty with the United States, and in doing so, they have signaled and communicated to China and to Russia that they prefer to look toward those two nations for their alliances and for their partnerships there in that region of the UAE. So folks, just keep your eyes on these things. The world alliances are shifting. The world is being divided into two spheres. You know, in World War II was Axis and Allies, and basically we're seeing that all over again, the division in the world. In fact, speaking of division, here's a great sample of the division in the world. This is footage from an international weightlifting competition where a Ukrainian won it, and receiving the bronze medal was an Iranian. The Ukrainian chose not to shake his hand due to the shaheeds from Iran that drop on his nation every day. Take a peek at this.
Please stand for the national anthem of Ukraine. Please.
Finally, last two things tonight, Croatia come out and Georgia. We need to pay attention to these two nations. They're very small, but they're very Russian. Georgia coming out and saying directly, their leader saying today in a news conference that Ukraine started this war and Russia has every right to do what they're doing. And Croatia taking it a step further. Croatia's president has put forth the litigation, or the legislation rather, to ban the phrase "glory to Ukraine" in Croatia. They are threatening jail time if they hear people stating "glory to Ukraine." His reasoning for that was it was a comparison to Nazi Germany and how the Germans and the Germanic Nazis would make these very similar statements about glory to Hitler and glory to the fatherland, glory to the Third Reich. And they've lost their mind, folks. They've lost their mind. Ukraine, it's their phrase, Slava Ukraina, Geroim Slava. And what that means is glory to Ukraine. It's not like a praise to God, but it's just we're paying honor to our country. And then Geroim Slava, of course, means glory to the heroes and those that are giving their lives, much as we just celebrated, not celebrated, but memorialized and remembered those in the United States over our last weekend holiday with Memorial Day. Finally, when is peace going to come? I have this subtitled for you of Vladimir Zelensky there in Ukraine helping me take care of all this because I cannot voice this one over. I will tell you what it's going to say, and I know you guys like the voiceovers, but I'm on airplanes, so I don't have that capability with me right now, but we have it subtitled, about a 40-second clip, President Zelensky making it very clear. When will the war end? When will the war end? Make no mistake about it, Ukraine is not going to give up 1 square inch, 1 square meter of their land. They are standing until the restoration of the 1991 borders, including Crimea, and that's what they're fighting for. President Zelensky said very clearly, when can we begin discussing, when can we begin negotiating about the end of this war? He said, when the Russian soldiers leave our land. Take a peek at this.
Ми не готові навіть думати про це, поки він не виведе війська з України. Спочатку вони повинні вивести війська з України, А потім вже ми повинні думати над форматом, як далі з ними говорити, в якому форматі, з ким, хто повинен бути свідком, хто з ким в цілому можна говорити з цієї сторони, коли довіри ніякої немає. Тому перш за все, вони повинні вийти, щоб говорити про дипломатію, вийти з усіх наших незалежних територій.
A lot of information tonight in a very quick time. We thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to like, to share, to comment, and to help us get the message out. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you in 48 hours, if not before. Slava Ukraina. Героям слава.